On my birthday, I received a text from Lu Jizhu saying, Ziaoyu is back, let's get a divorce. I replied, get down on your knees and beg me. The next day at noon, Lu Jizhu finally came home. I was sitting on the sofa, slurping my snail noodles, knowing he hated the smell. But I did it on purpose. He frowned and said coldly, Gu Tingting, let's get a divorce. I said, sure, the property and the company are all mine. You live with nothing. He was stunned and asked, why? I said, because the one who proposed marriage was you, and now the one who wants a divorce is also you. Do you think marriage is like shopping on Taobao? You can return it without reason within 7 days. He thought for a moment and said, the house and other things can be yours, but not the company. Don't be unreasonable. I said, I want to be unreasonable. Lu Jizhu ignored me and turned to leave. That's just the kind of person he is. When things don't go his way, he won't say a word more. That afternoon, he sent me a divorce agreement. I glanced at it casually. The property was mine, the company was his, and an extra compensation of 5 million was fair enough. But what about the 3 years I invested? Did I just feed the dog? 3 years ago, Lu Jizhu's house company had financial problems and was on the verge of bankruptcy. He proposed to me, and after I agreed, my father lent him 5 million over these 3 years. I've been a good wife, accompanying him to various gatherings, helping him build connections, and entertain all kinds of people without me. How could he have his current status? Now he wants to get rid of me and be with his white moonlight. It's really a dream to think that I can just hand over the company and also return to Lu Jizhu a divorce agreement, which is that all the property, houses, and companies belong to me, and he lives with nothing. Lu Jizhu didn't reply, and I thought about it seriously and edited a message for him. Lu Jizhu, this is your last chance to divorce me. If you miss this opportunity, there will be no more. Don't regret it. This time he did reply, see you in court. I raised my hand and blocked him, feeling that it was not enough to vent my anger, and then I opened the company's WeChat and DingTalk and cancelled his account. He was too lazy to do it at the beginning, and all this were done by me and the secretary for him. Not long after, Secretary Zhang called and said, Madam, Mr. La's WeChat and DingTalk in the company. I interrupted him. Secretary, Zhang, have you taken your annual leave this year? Not yet, by the way. Aren't you getting married soon? I will give you a month off. Take your girlfriend to the Maldives for honeymoon. The company will pay for the tickets. Leave tomorrow, and I don't want to see you in the company for this month. Understand? Understood. Thank you, madam, Secretary Zhang replied. I slept, and when I woke up, I found that Lu Jizhu had come back again. It's really a rare guest. Since Zhang Ziaoyu returned to the country, the number of times Lu Jizhu has come home can be counted on one hand. Even once a week is too much. Today, she actually came home twice in one day, and I was very surprised. She glared at me fiercely and said, Gu Tingting, we are all adults. Can you be more mature? I ignored her, picked up my phone, and took a photo of her. Gu Tingting, what do you want in the end? She said again, my conditions have been very generous. I can give you everything except the company. Only the company is not possible. Ziao, Zhai, the company is my effort. I can't give it to you. I was too lazy to talk nonsense with her, and silently added a cute puppy filter to her photo, and then chose 2 photos of luxury goods from the album, and sent them to the circle of friends, thanking the husband for the late birthday surprise. All the way with you. 3 lives are fortunate. Given that I've already blocked Lu Jizhu, it's clear that this WeChat moment wasn't posted for him to see. It was meant for Zhang Ziaoyu's eyes. A month back, a strange WeChat account sent me a friend request, with no posts in their friends circle and silence. After the addition, I was certain it was Zhang Ziaoyu and no one else made sense. My hunch was confirmed when, just 5 minutes later, Lu Jizhu's house phone rang. High-ass demeanor shifted as he answered, speaking softly into the phone before shooting me a sharp look and stepping outside to continue the conversation. I took that moment to get up from the couch and lock the door, calling the property management to change the lock. While he was occupied, once Lu Jizhu hung up, he discovered he'd been locked out. His angry knocks echoing for a good 5 minutes. I couldn't resist saying, Zhang Ziaoyu's probably looking for you. You better not keep her waiting. He threw out a parting shout, Gu Tingting, don't say I didn't warn you, before storming off. Who's going to regret what, though is yet to be seen. I married Lu Jizhu, which was a result of weighing the pros and cons. My father never went to school. He started from the coal mine, which is a so-called coal boss, because of his low origin. No matter how much money he made, how much power he had, he always had to be looked down upon in the circle. Therefore, he spent a lot of money to send me to a noble school, to learn all kinds of talents, hoping that I would no longer be looked down upon. But it was useless. No matter how hard I tried, in other people's eyes, I will always be the daughter of the coal boss. Later, we understood that, if we want to get rid of our origin, I have only one way, that is to get married. Lu Jizhu was in my side at that time. He was born in a scholarly family with high education, elegant manners, and handsome appearance. He founded a small company by himself, and in just 3 years, it grew from a small workshop in the residential building to a large company with hundreds of people, becoming a hot and dazzling young entrepreneur. I saw that he was very optimistic, so I tried to get in touch with him. I heard that he had an ex-girlfriend who had been in a relationship for 7 years, and even the name of the company, Ziao Zhai, was a combination of their 2 names. He told me that the past was over, and he would never look back. I believed him. Now I think about it, I was really silly. After marriage, Lu Jizhu was not bad to me. He didn't like to talk, and even in front of me, he was often cold and ignored people. I thought he was such a person until one time I accompanied him to a classmate's party. Everyone was drunk, and I recalled the things in college, and I knew how gentle and considerate he was to Zhang Ziaoyu at that time. It turns out that he has never loved me. It doesn't matter, I said to myself. He doesn't love me. I don't love him either. From that day on, my heart has cooled down. Despite this, I still played the role of Mrs. Lu seriously. In our circle, there are many couples who have no feelings between them, showing respect on the surface and playing their own games behind the scenes. I thought, although she doesn't love me, as long as he respects me, as long as he gives me and my father enough face in front of people, then I will accept it. But Zhang Ziaoyu came back. Zhang Ziaoyu came back a month ago. I know it was because Lu Jizhu didn't attend the investor meeting. I planned for half a month that day, but went to the airport to pick her up, leaving me alone to face many investors. tears, dry mouth to apologize, to explain for him. After the meeting, I asked Secretary Zhang about Lu Zhi's whereabouts and then went to Elvis Ran's office. Elvis Ren is the marketing manager of the company and also a good friend of Lu Zhizu. He, Lu Zhizu, and Zhang Ziaoyu are all college classmates. Seeing me, he was obviously very guilty. Sister-in-law, why are you here? Give me your phone, I said, taking his phone and opening WeChat. Sure enough, I saw the photo Zhang Ziaoyu just posted in the circle of friends. The photo was Lu Zhi's house angular side face with the text "It's really good to be home." I sneered and took a screenshot and sent it to myself. Sister-in-law, please listen to my explanation. Elvis Ren said. At that time, Zhang Ziaoyu went abroad for treatment because she got cancer. She even thought she couldn't survive. But who knew? She was actually cured. How did I hear that she went abroad? Because she was with a rich foreigner. I said, I also heard that she left Lu Zhizu because she thought he was poor. Elvis Ren looked bitter and said, that's all fake. It's Zhang Ziaoyu who made it up to deceive Lu Zhizu. He was afraid that Lu Zhizu would be too sad and couldn't think it through. After knowing about her illness, they are really in love, and I am the one who is redundant. I should just quietly live to fulfill their beautiful love. There is no such reason. The next day, I received a lawyer's letter from Lu Zhizu, and he wanted to sue for divorce. I forwarded it to my lawyer, Song Mingli, who quickly replied that the property division proposed by the other party was reasonable, and it would be difficult to make him live with nothing, and our chances of winning were not great. I replied that I don't need him to live with nothing. Song Mingli directly called and said, Miss Fu, what do you mean by not wanting the other party to live with nothing? Do you agree with the property division proposed by the other party? I replied, no, I mean I don't want a divorce anymore. Lawyer Song seemed very surprised. You don't want a divorce anymore? Not anymore. I said, it's him, Lu Zhizu, who wants a divorce. Why should I divorce? I won't divorce. Lawyer Song seemed speechless. I asked, if I don't divorce, what are the chances of winning? A sure win, Lawyer Song replied. As we all know, my court is the least willing to judge divorce cases. As long as you don't want a divorce, no matter if it's infidelity, domestic violence, drug abuse, or gambling, the court will never easily judge to divorce, even if the other party insists on divorce. It can delay him for 3 to 5 years. That's great, I said. This matter is handed over to you. Sure enough, a month later, the court opened, and Lawyer Song was passionate and played a big role in the court, passionately narrating my deep love for Lu Zhizu, which moved the judge to tears. The divorce lawsuit was dismissed, and that night, I sent a circle of friends that Jin Ziaoyu could see. He is my person when he is alive, and he is my dead person when he dies. I won't let him go, and no one else can snatch him away. I knew someone would sit still. Sure enough, 5 minutes later, Zhang Ziaoyu sent a WeChat asking to meet me. I finally met Zhang Ziaoyu, and she was indeed quite beautiful. To be honest, she was more beautiful than me, but it doesn't matter. I have money. As soon as she started, Zhang Ziaoyu apologized to me, saying that she didn't know Lu Zhizu was already married when she came back, and she didn't mean to destroy my marriage. Then she started to recall her and Lu Zhi's house love story at that time, which was full of twists and turns, astonishing and moving. I listened patiently for a while, but I really couldn't bear to listen anymore. So I started to play with my phone and play the game. I was playing intensively when I suddenly found that she stopped talking. I looked up. Have you finished talking? Then I'm leaving. Gu Tingting. She hurriedly stopped me. What? I know it's me and Lu Zhizu who are wrong. We are sorry for you, but we are really in love, and he doesn't love you anymore. It's meaningless for you to keep him. Please divorce him. I looked at her with a smile and took it seriously. Miss Zhang, you have to understand one thing. It's not that I won't divorce Lu Zhizu. I have already given him a divorce agreement, but he didn't agree. In the final analysis, he still can't bear the money. If it's really as you said, the two of you are really in love, he loves you, he should abandon everything, live with nothing, and divorce me, and then marry you. And if you love him, you should accompany him silently, not force him to marry you and make him difficult. Zhang Ziaoyu was stunned, and it was obvious that my words were reasonable and could not be refuted. I smiled slightly. In the final analysis, it's still that the two of you are not in love enough. What does it have to do with me? I can guess that Zhang Ziaoyu must have gone home and complained to Lu Zhizu, because that night, Lu Zhizu called me 20 times in a row, and of course, I didn't answer, because I expected that this pair of dogs and women would not give up. So I simply let Secretary Zhang also book a ticket for me, and arranged a 6-month European vacation for me. The next morning, I slipped away by plane. In the next 6 months, I traveled happily in Europe, occasionally making a phone call with Lawyer Song to listen to him talk about the affairs of that pair of dogs and women. Lawyer Song said that Lu Zhizu was actively preparing for the second divorce lawsuit, but according to our country's law, the second lawsuit must wait for 6 months, and it is said that, when he heard this news, his nose was crooked with anger. At the same time, Lu Zhizu and Zhang Ziaoyu have already shamelessly cohabited openly and appeared in various occasions together. Can they be sued for bigamy? I asked if this is a bit difficult. Lawyer Song said, but he seems to have given Miss Zhang quite a few gifts. We can sue him for transferring marital property privately and freezing his bank account. Okay, let's do it. But Lawyer Song hesitated and said, the other party can also apply to unfreeze, even if we win. It's just to let them spend some money. It doesn't matter. I said I just want to add a bet to the two of them. A few months later, Lawyer Song called again to tell me that the lawsuit for transferring marital property was won, and Zhang Ziaoyu spat out all the gifts she received. Good, I said, thanks to Lawyer Song. These compensations will be given to you as a bonus. Lawyer Song was modest and accepted it. Miss Gu, I have another message. She said Lu Zhizu has filed for divorce for the second time, and this time you still don't plan to divorce. I said no, this may be a bit difficult. It doesn't matter. I said I will go back to the country later, and I will go to court in person to respond, and I will make sure she can't divorce. 6 months later, as promised, I returned to the country to attend the trial of Lu Zhihao's divorce lawsuit. It has been a long time, and Lu Zhizu looked a lot more haggard. I have heard that the company has not been going well in the past few months. The new business expansion failed, and the investors have withdrawn one after another, and the account was also frozen by the court for several months. He had to run around and borrow money everywhere, but he was everywhere, and he was really embarrassed, and he deserved it. I saw Zhang Ziaoyu also came, sitting in the audience behind Lu Zhizu. She was wearing a delicate makeup, wearing a high-end dress, but still beautiful and moving. Her expression was a bit anxious, and I knew why. Her stomach was obviously getting bigger. If Lu Zhizu can divorce again, their child will become an illegitimate child. It's too deserved. The judge announced the opening of the court. After a series of procedures, Lu Zhihao's lawyer spoke first. Hi-S lawyer looked very expensive, speaking a set of sides, passionate, and flying spittle, all kinds of metaphors, parallel sentences, and saying it for free. Finally, it was my turn to speak. I stood up, took off my coat, and exposed my protruding belly. Lawyer Song said, Judge, look, my party is pregnant. According to the law, a woman cannot be divorced during pregnancy, and Lu Zhizu couldn't hold it anymore on the spot. Fake, impossible. Lawyer Song, Your Honor, please allow me to submit medical records and be ultrasound as evidence. Lawyer Song handed up the medical records and be ultrasound copies. Judge, the woman is indeed pregnant, and it is impossible to divorce in this situation. The plaintiff, please withdraw the lawsuit. Lu Zhihao's face turned black. Zhang Ziaoyu's face in the audience was also extremely ugly. Only Lu Zhihao's lawyer remained calm and composed. He whispered a few words to Lu Zhizu, then said to the judge, Your Honor, we insist that the child is not my client's. Lawyer Song was steady as a dog. Plaintiff, don't you dare to slander people. Do you have evidence? Lu Zhizu couldn't help but speak. The child is not mine at all. I haven't touched you at all in the past 6 months. Lawyer Song, evidence. Lu Zhizu, what evidence do you have to prove that the child is mine? Lawyer Song, you and Gu Tingting are not divorced yet, and legally, the child is yours, and there is no need for additional evidence to prove it. Lu Zhizu was furious, and his lawyer was still insisting. Your Honor, we request a paternity test for the child. Lawyer Song, we refuse. Lu Zhizu, you refuse, which means you have a guilty conscience. Your Honor, a paternity test must be conducted. The judge made a bitter face. The court cannot force a woman to have a paternity test, and if the woman does not agree now, the paternity test cannot be carried out. To prove that the child is not Lu Zhihao's, a paternity test is needed, and a paternity test needs my consent. I don't agree, so the paternity test cannot be carried out, and the child is defaulted to Lu Zhihao's. A perfect closed loop has been formed. Lu Zhizu was dumbfounded, and Zhang Ziaoyu in the seat was also dumbfounded. Judge, does the plaintiff have anything else to say? If not, hurry up and withdraw the lawsuit. Don't waste everyone's time. Lu Zhihao's lawyer made a last-ditch effort. We request a postponement of the trial. We need time to collect evidence that the child is not the man's. Lawyer Song interrupted him. Your Honor, according to our country's law, a man is prohibited from filing for divorce during a woman's pregnancy, but there is no provision that a woman's child must be the man's, right? No matter who the child is, the law says you can't divorce. You can't divorce. The man is just wasting time. The judge nodded. It is indeed like this. The plaintiff, you might as well withdraw the lawsuit quickly. The trial ended, and Lawyer Song and I walked out of the court in high spirits unexpectedly. Lu Zhizu rushed over to stop me. Gu Tingting, you are ruthless. She glared at me fiercely as if she had made a great decision and said, I agree to live with nothing. The company belongs to you. Sign the agreement now. I looked at her with a smile. Why? Can't Zhang Ziaoyu's stomach wait? It has nothing to do with Ziaoyu. Don't involve her. Lu Zhizu is still protecting her. I laugh. Okay, it really has nothing to do with her, but it has something to do with me. I'm pregnant now. I don't want the child in my stomach to have no father before he is born. Lu Zhizu is impatient. I have agreed to all your conditions. I agree to give you the company and live with nothing. What else do you want? But I regretted it. I said, the first time I sent you the divorce agreement, I told you, but the only chance for you to divorce me was that you didn't seize it. You can't blame me. Gu Tingting, what do you want in the end? Lu Zhizu asked. I thought about it. If you kneel down and beg me, I might consider it. Lawyer Song drove me home, and on the way, Lawyer Song asked me, Miss Gu, do you still not want to divorce? I said no, I will. I am heartbroken for the two of them. Lawyer Song hesitated. What about the father of your child? I smiled. There is no father. This child is a test tube baby I made at the London Sperm Bank. I don't know who the father is. I only know that he is 185 cm tall, blonde, blue-eyed, has no genetic diseases, and has an IQ of 260. Lawyer Song couldn't help sighing. I really don't understand the affairs of you rich people. Lu Zhizu insisted on not withdrawing the lawsuit, and the court ruled against him. I heard that he and Zhang Ziaoyu held a public wedding, and they also plan to immigrate to the United States to get married officially in the United States. I asked Lawyer Song if Lu Zhizu gets a license in the United States, can he be sued for bigamy? Lawyer Song said, yes, as long as he comes back to the country, he can be sued and sentenced for a few years, up to 2 years. 2 years is also good. You help me keep an eye on it. As soon as he comes back to the country, go and sue immediately. Okay, Lawyer Song said. Miss Gu, Lawyer Song said again, can I ask you a personal question? Why do you hate Lu Zhizu so much? Her infidelity during marriage is indeed hateful, but you are also losing out by continuing to fight with him like this. I said I hate her not because she cheated, but because of her arrogance. She has never respected me, and she has never treated me as an equal in her world. Only her and Zhang Ziaoyu are people, and the rest of us are NPCs without feelings. I lent her money, helped her company through difficulties, and helped her attract investment and connections. But does she have any gratitude for me in her heart? No, it was clearly her who was wrong to me, but she has not apologized to me to this day. Lawyer Sung was stunned. So when you said to let her kneel down and beg you, it was actually serious? I nodded. It was serious. In fact, if Zhang Ziaoyu had just come back, she could have frankly explained the situation to me, the causes and effects, and apologized sincerely, and I would have agreed to the divorce. Why drag it to this embarrassing situation now? But she had to betray me, deceive me, and ignore me, treating me as a fool, and then scheme against me, threaten me. She didn't regard me as a wife, or even as a person. Some people's parents didn't teach them to respect others, and society didn't teach them, so I have to teach them myself. Lawyer Sung was silent for a long time and said, I think this lesson is not enough now. I have several accounting friends. I will help you contact them and check her company's accounts again. I said okay. With the unremitting efforts of Lawyer Sung and his friends, Lu Ji's house small company finally came to the brink of bankruptcy again. The difference is that there is no one to lend money to her this time. I heard that Lu Jizu has been so worried these days that she can't eat or sleep, and her hair has turned white. Naturally, her marriage with Zhang Ziaoyu has been delayed, but I didn't expect that Zhang Ziaoyu contacted me again and asked to meet me, and I was very curious, so I agreed. I made an appointment with Zhang Ziaoyu at a private coffee shop. Her stomach is already very big, and I have started to show, and our meeting may seem more like a pregnant mother exchange meeting in the eyes of others rather than a rival meeting. She got straight to the point. The outside company is Ji's house effort. Gu Tingting, I beg you, please let it go. I looked at her with a smile. Why? She was silent for a while and said, I am willing to take the initiative to quit. I will leave Jizu. I will give him back to you. Please don't hurt him anymore. The two of you live a good life together. Excuse me, is she brain dead? What she said is human language. I was so angry that I laughed. Return to me. I can't afford this person. Lu Jizu. Zhang Ziaoyu seemed not to understand my words and said pitifully, I will go back abroad alone, and I will give birth to the child alone and raise it by myself. I swear I will never disturb you again. I couldn't bear to listen to it and interrupted her. Zhang Ziaoyu, do you think you are particularly selfless, particularly great, sacrificing yourself for love, to fulfill Lu Jizu and me? Thank you. You don't need it. Zhang Ziaoyu wanted to say something more, but I didn't give her the chance. I think you and Lu Jizu are particularly suitable. Really, I said. I wish you to a harmonious marriage. Always lock up and don't come out to harm others again. That night, I received a call from the hospital, and it turned out that Lu Jizu somehow learned that Zhang Ziaoyu wanted to return him to me, and the two quarreled. And Lu Jizu was very excited, but he was driving, so he had a car accident. The onlookers sent him to the ICU, and the doctor needed family members to sign, so they found me. When I arrived at the hospital, it was midnight, and Zhang Ziaoyu was anxiously waiting at the door of the ICU. Her face was haggard. He was fine, and it was said that at the moment of the car accident, Lu Jizu suddenly turned the steering wheel to protect him, but he was seriously injured as a result. Tut, it's really great. He can still be a hero to save the beauty. The doctor asked me, are you a family member of Lu Jizu? Why did you come so late? I am. I said I am his wife. The doctor looked at me, and then looked at Zhang Ziaoyu next to me, his eyes wandering on the protruding stomachs of the two of us, and his expression was very complicated. He took me into the office, and handed over a stack of documents. The patient is now in a very critical condition, and needs surgery immediately. The risk of surgery is very high, and it is not guaranteed to save his life, and it may leave serious sequel. You think about it. If you agree to the surgery, please sign. I said no need to consider not saving. Directly pulled a flat shoulder. Dad, thank the doctor. Are you sure? I nodded, very sure. The doctor then signed on the consent to give up treatment. I am so tired. At the moment of signing the name on the consent to give up treatment, I suddenly felt relieved, as if the love and hate that I had been holding on to all the time were suddenly put down. I couldn't help but think that good and evil are rewarded. Later, I met Zhang Ziaoyu again. She had already given birth. It was a girl. I heard that she had already handled the passport and was ready to go to the United States with the child. I think she will not come back in this life. I actually don't want to see her very much, but I have to make a settlement with her. Zhang Ziaoyu obviously didn't want to see me either. She gnashed her teeth and said to me, Jizu is gone. Are you still unwilling to let me go? Gu Tingting, I'm sorry for you. I beg you to let it go. Look at what you said. I'm not a devil. I said, I just have something to give you. After Lu Jizu died, I inherited all his property as his wife. Zhang Ziaoyu got nothing. I think he should also want to leave something to commemorate Lu Jizu. So this is the ashes of Lu Jizu. I took out a white porcelain jar from my bag and gave it to you. Since you love him so much, keep it well as a memento. I turned around and left gracefully. 2 months later, I gave birth to a pair of blonde-haired, blue-eyed twins. I named them Guzi Wuwan. I passed to nannies, taking care of the children full-time. Rich and idle, and no man is in the way. I believe my future will be better and better.